H5N1 in dairy cows. Low risk of transmission to humans explained. Imagine a world where a deadly virus is lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. This might sound like the plot of a thriller movie, but it's a harsh reality that scientists and researchers are working tirelessly to prevent. The H5N1 bird flu virus has been found in dairy cows, and while it may seem like a distant concern, it's essential to understand the risks and implications. But here's where it gets interesting. A recent study from St. Jude Children's Research Hospital has revealed that the H5N1 viruses in dairy cows are more similar to those found in birds than in humans. This discovery has significant implications for our understanding of the virus and its potential to spread. The researchers found that the viruses from dairy cows had more molecular and biological features in common with avian flu viruses than with human flu viruses. This means that for now, the risk of the virus becoming a pandemic threat to humans appears low. However, this doesn't mean we can let our guard down. The risk of direct infection for those working with infected animals, such as farm workers, or consuming raw milk from infected cows is still high. In fact, there have been at least 41 reported cases of human infection through close contact with dairy cattle. So what does this mean for us? The study's findings suggest that current avian flu vaccines and antivirals may be effective against these cow-derived H5N1 viruses. This is promising news, but it's crucial to continue monitoring the situation as the virus continues to evolve. The scientists compared 5 flu viruses sampled from dairy cows to the closest related strains found in birds and humans. The results showed that the bovine viruses more closely resembled the avian influenza strains, with similar genetic sequences and a stronger binding affinity to avian cell receptors. This indicates that the virus is unlikely to spread efficiently between humans in its current form. But as we've seen time and time again, viruses can mutate and adapt quickly. The researchers used a mammalian model of human influenza infection to study the virus's ability to spread. While they found that the virus couldn't transmit through the air between mammals, direct contact with infected dairy cattle could still lead to human infection. This highlights the importance of taking precautions when working with infected animals or consuming raw milk. The study's authors also examined the effectiveness of current interventions, such as vaccines and antivirals, against these bovine viruses. They found that people vaccinated against avian influenza had some cross-protection against the cow-derived H5N1 viruses. Additionally, the antivirals used to treat influenza were effective against these viruses, with no indication of resistance. While these findings are encouraging, it's essential to remain vigilant. The virus continues to evolve, and new variants could emerge that are more easily transmissible between humans. As the corresponding author, Richard Webby, Ph.D., noted, for now, the risk of becoming a pandemic threat to humans appears low, though the risk of direct infection for those working with these animals remains high. The study's results have significant implications for our understanding of the H5N1 virus and its potential to spread. However, there are still many unanswered questions. What do you think is the most critical step in preventing the spread of the H5N1 virus? Should we be doing more to protect farm workers and those consuming raw milk? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And this is the part most people miss: the importance of continued surveillance and research into the H5N1 virus. As the virus continues to evolve, it's crucial that we stay ahead of the curve and develop effective strategies for prevention and treatment. But here's a controversial question. Should we be prioritizing the development of new vaccines and antivirals over other public health concerns? The answer is not straightforward, and it's a topic that warrants further discussion. One thing is certain, though. The H5N1 virus is a reminder of the importance of global health security. and the need for continued investment in research and development. As we move forward, it's essential to consider the potential risks and benefits of different approaches and to prioritize the health and well-being of individuals and communities around the world. H5N1 outbreak. Airborne wastewater spread on dairy farms exposed. Imagine a silent threat lurking in the air and water on dairy farms, potentially spreading a deadly virus. That's the alarming possibility researchers are now exploring with H5N1 avian flu. While outbreaks on U.S. dairy farms have thankfully subsided in recent months, the question of how this virus truly spreads remains a critical puzzle. And this is where things get even more intriguing. New research from California's outbreak hotspots points to a surprising culprit: the air we breathe and the water we often overlook. Scientists from Emory University, alongside colleagues across several states, have delved deep into this mystery. Their findings, published in the preprint server bioRxiv, shed light on the complex transmission pathways of H5N1. But here's where it gets controversial. Could something as commonplace as milking routines and wastewater management be contributing to the spread? Despite a quieter summer, sporadic H5N1 detections in dairy cows persist. Just recently, the USDA confirmed another case in California, bringing the national total to a staggering 1,078 since early 2024, with California bearing the brunt of the burden at 771 cases. This highlights the ongoing threat and the urgency of understanding all potential transmission routes. Initially, contaminated milking equipment and direct contact with infected milk were seen as the primary culprits. However, as outbreaks exploded in states like Colorado and California, researchers realized there was more to the story. They embarked on a comprehensive investigation, sampling air, wastewater, and milk from 14 dairy farms across 2 California regions. Their findings were eye-opening. Air sampling revealed the presence of H5N1 viral RNA in milking parlors and housing areas, with some samples even containing infectious virus particles. This suggests that the virus can become airborne during milking, potentially exposing both cows and farm workers. Imagine the implications for those working closely with these animals. But the story doesn't end there. Wastewater emerged as another potential player in this transmission drama. Researchers detected H5N1 viral RNA throughout the wastewater stream, from cleaning water to manure lagoons frequented by migratory birds. Alarmingly, 2 wastewater samples even contained infectious virus, raising concerns about its spread to other animals and potentially humans. These findings paint a complex picture of H5N1 transmission on dairy farms. It's not just about direct contact. The virus may be lurking in the air we breathe and the water we use. This underscores the need for a multi-pronged approach to control its spread. Think respiratory protection for workers, rigorous disinfection protocols, and careful management of contaminated milk and wastewater. The research also highlights the importance of identifying infected cows, even those showing no obvious symptoms. This subclinical infection, as it's called, can silently contribute to the virus's spread. By understanding these hidden pathways, we can better protect both animal and human health. This research opens up a Pandora's box of questions. How far can airborne H5N1 travel? What role do migratory birds truly play in its spread? And most importantly, how can we effectively mitigate these risks without compromising dairy farm operations? These are questions that demand further investigation and open dialogue. What are your thoughts on this complex issue? Do you think we're doing enough to prevent future outbreaks?